professionals quicker?
Well, I would say from the standpoint, staying with the topic of our panel today of how do we develop, how do we retain our people, is that tied to job satisfaction, which is usually a lot of times tied to performance. So I'll kind of stay on that same theme. One of the things I think that is going well, there's understanding of the mentor program in oil and gas. The other one is there was a series of papers put out in 2014 by the International Association of Oil and Gas Producers. It was 3 reports, the 501, 502, and the 503. And what they recommended, they said, you know, this is from us to us. And they felt that if the oil and gas, especially upstream with regards to well operations, was going to reach the next level in both safety and performance, they should look at adopting a set of skills, soft skills. They called them crew resource management. I think this morning Mr. Rochelle called them multi-crew cooperation. It's the same set of soft skills. And what those soft skills do, they were developed by NASA, but they have been both adopted, perfected, and maintained by the commercial aviation industry. And it's been a big part of their 6+ Sigma reliability. Those skills, which are leadership, teamwork, communication, situational awareness, decision-making, and human factors. You might have heard those this morning. Those soft skills are what allow the transition from a hierarchical organization where one guy stands at the top or one gal and tells everyone what to do, more to a teaming organization. And the history behind that history still exists in oil and gas. And in case you ever heard this on a rig, the best compliment you can pay a crewman is to say, that's a good hand, right? Not a good set of eyes, not a good head, but that's a good hand. That culture changed in commercial aviation due to a really horrific accident. And I'm sure a lot of people in here have heard that accident, but in 1977, on a small island in Tenerife, a captain basically drove another 747 into another one sitting on the runway. Both of them filled with fuel, killed 583 people. And it's the worst accident in commercial aviation. But another thing that was about that incident was the person who did it, who was responsible, was the best guy KLM had. He was had been their chief safety officer. He had been their chief pilot, actually was still their chief pilot and their head spokesmodel. He delivered the first 747 to the company. He was the best guy they had. So how does the industry turn around and tell their stockholders, yeah, we won't do it again, right? Because we can't fix it with training. I mean, they were stuck, right? So what they kind of came to the conclusion was that they kind of had to change their mindset. And that mindset, that change was that we can no longer completely protect ourselves from making mistakes. We have to accept that we're going to make a mistake, and then let's empower the entire team to catch those mistakes before they get really bad, right? It was a huge mindset change. But they had a couple of barriers. The biggest one was culture, right? You also heard that mentioned this morning, I think also by Mr. Rochelle. When that 747 was barreling down the runway, as it passed through 100 knots, both the co-pilot and the flight engineer knew that pilot wasn't cleared for takeoff. They were on a foggy runway. They knew that he was making a mistake, and they did not have the culture to stop it, right? And so they let that guy drive them to their death. That culture took a set of, no kidding, soft skills. People make fun of soft skills, but those soft skills have actually allowed communication up the chain, so that now on an airline, if it's cold out, a flight attendant can walk up to the captain and go, I don't think they put de-icing on the wings. He'll stop the mission. That culture did not exist in 1977. But that teaming culture has allowed the reliability to go up because we can't train on every mistake. We actually have to build a team that incorporates everybody's, basically we have to start hiring people from the neck up. And that was a big shift.